Just got done with a football game. Almost won. We were so close. We won one game out of two, and then it was tied up. Almost had a run for the win. Actually, I had to score. It was fourth down. I jumped. I was about an inch short. I jumped over the pylon, but was called down an inch of the goal line to end the game. So it was a lot of fun, though. It was a lot of fun. It was a really close game. I had like 6 touchdowns. You know, I'm 33, and a lot of the people out there, 22, 23 years old, and I had more touchdowns than anybody, more picks than anybody, so it feels good to be able to be as athletic as I am. But my ankle was really, really bad. I twisted it last weekend. I taped it up. I also was quarterback for 2 touchdowns as well. So yeah, I was pretty proud of that. I felt really, really weird. I've been feeling weird lately because I overdid it mentally. And but anyway, let me cut to the chase. I found myself accidentally watching a Benzo truth about Benzo video, and then I commented on something, and people quoted or commented back, and I just want to get something straight. And eventually, I'm probably just going to have to sign off of this whole topic because it's not worth repeating. Definitely, benzos are not the best thing to be on, and if you can avoid it. But a person commented to me that stress doesn't cause brain damage, and it's just laughable at how ignorant that is. I know a lot of people, most people actually, who go on benzos or psychiatric medications do so because they are so desperate because of their mental state. And actually, God has put quite a few people in my life over the past couple years, showing me that people that never took meds, that completely lose touch with reality and choose to not be medicated and get worse and worse and worse. And of course, studies show, countless studies, you can look it up for yourself, that stress shrinks the hippocampus, reduces gray matter in the brain. It can cause permanent damage. Chronic stress can lead to dementia, cancer, high blood pressure, heart attacks. Almost every single negative health condition that is out there, from diabetes and so forth, can be caused and or exacerbated by extreme chronic stress. Chronic stress, especially in the form of anxiety and agoraphobia and OCD, and a lot of these things absolutely deplete neurotransmitters in the brain, and also cause a degradation of neurons. They deplete neuronal growth. They stop neurogenesis. And you can see this in millions and millions of people and thousands of studies. So if stress is the number one culprit, it's like, oh, well, what are we stressed about? Even people... There are people out there that are nutritionally deficient in things. And those people, because of their nutritional deficiencies, can have similar symptoms and also stress on the body. So actually, I was listening to Joyce Myers, a preacher, one of my favorite preachers. And I like her because she talks about not just, God's role in our lives. And because we can choose to have God in our life, but we eat like crap and don't take care of ourselves physically, you could still feel terrible. So there's all kinds of stresses on the body. There's demonic stress, there's spiritual stress, There's mental stress, there's nutritional stress, there's social stress, there's an array of stresses. And then also, trauma, which would fall in some of those categories, can cause stress as well. And when that stress accumulates, it raises cortisol in the brain. And I've said this in many videos, and I just want to say it again. Elevated cortisol in the brain can cause a flood of catecholamines that can damage the brain. And if you have true undiagnosed ADHD, which is a very small portion of people with true ADHD, then stress and you have a complex PTSD and issues combined, comorbid conditions, the stress can be constant. Because people often look at me and they say, well, physically I'm in good shape. I have things on a material level that a lot of people don't have. But I suffer from bouts of where I'll start to feel really good, I'll start to feel better, and then I get really, really, really overly excited about something, and then I can't turn it off in my brain. I'll think about it. As an example, when I got found out that 2 of my acres, actually, I lost 2 acres due to a technicality that I bought. I hired lawyers. I took it to this extreme level of absolute, I take it to a level most people don't take it to, and I do that with everything in my life. That drive has allowed me to survive and get the things that I have today, and also have allowed me to be a success, the success that I do have, the mild success that I have. But that drive also drove me into the ground. So finding the off switch, the meditation and stuff like that is truly where I'm searching for. But the main message is to all of you that chronic stress, yes, of course, if you can find a way through meditation or if you're deficient and you need to get tested. So I was tested for everything. All my levels are good. I have a perfect heart rate, perfect blood pressure, perfect levels of every vitamin. I've tried every nutritional compound known to man. I've tried so many things. If you have all those things done and spent years and you're not getting better, like me, I had to start. It was either a wooden box or medication. And after 5 years without benzos, and actually I was feeling very good because of Lamictal, I ended up having to reinstate. And I just want to tell you that I was a success story. And my benzo withdrawal wasn't really benzo withdrawal as I thought it was. It was just chronic stress from other things, combined with some acute benzo withdrawal, but that went away. And some people, unfortunately, require medication, and sometimes, and hopefully that can be a bridge. And if it's not a bridge and you have to be on it for the rest of your life, but you have a life, if I could find a medication, I truly haven't tried a lot, that could allow me to go out and enjoy myself and have energy and all the things that I want to have. And I do have sometimes, but if I could have that consistently, which more than likely is a stimulant, then I would take that for the rest of my life. I would take that for my family, for my future family, for my wife. And everybody has to make a decision for themselves, and no one should ever go online looking for advice. Going online and looking for advice is a death sentence for some, because you'll find all this nonsense and this non-science. And you get trapped in that. Truth is that 20 million Americans take benzodiazepines, and only probably 100 of those, 200 tops, are online circling like trolls because they're having issues, but you don't know. And I'm not judging you. Yes, pause is a real thing, but it happens to very few people. And just like, unfortunately for me, that's not a problem. My family takes medication, they come off of them, they don't have issues. I just have suffered debilitating depression and anxiety since I was a child, and had a lot of trauma. And I self-medicated with caffeine and alcohol and cigarettes for many years. And when I stopped all that self-medicating, I got really worse, really, really bad. And at the same time, I decided to quit benzos because I just wanted to have a healthier life. And then I went down into the abyss of depersonalization. And I slowly got back. The gabapentin got me like halfway back, but I was still irritable, angry, pissed off all the time, in a fog state. And then as soon as I got on Lamictal, holy shit, my whole world changed. So I've seen the power of medication. Medication is not perfect, but it gave me the best year I've had in 10 years. So, and there's all these other medications that are coming out now that are not addictive, that are work on various receptors like BNC210, it's a nicotinic receptor antagonist, I believe, and then Repastinel. So there's a lot of stuff coming out in the future that can really help. And but anyway, I am blessed, and we have to remember that. I didn't want to go out today. I was not feeling well. I haven't been feeling well, but I went out and I had a really good time despite myself. So sometimes we have to do that. I just got to make it through next week. I feel like I say that every week, but I know I go back and watch my videos, and just like a week ago I was feeling hella good. So, and when I say hella good, it's hella good for me, but I was able to go shopping and do things that I normally don't do. So there's hope. Medication is a form of hope for a lot of people, and if you're scared to take medications, I understand. I've talked to so many people who tell me, and they're in their 50s, and they're like, the worst thing I did was not take medication because I didn't want to take it years ago. And they lost all those years. I am the poster child for nutritional health. I would run a marathon if it would work, and I have run a marathon after marathon to try to get back my health. Like I said, I quit everything bad that you can quit. Sugar, caffeine, gluten, went paleo, juice cleanses, juice diets, coffee enemas, quit caffeine. Everything in the frickin' nutritional index, from ashwagandha to chaga mushrooms to nettle tea to amino acid therapy, intravenous NAD from a clinic, extreme measures. I've been to the Amen clinic. I've tried everything from theanine to inositol in high dosages, because I've tried CBD oil, I've tried marijuana, I've tried everything everyone ever recommended. Phosphatidylserine complexes, adrenal glands. The only thing that ever took an edge and got me back to like close to reality was GABAergic medications. And let's keep in mind the reason why I started that GABAergic medication was because at 23 I had a snapping point, and I went from a fully functioning kid who could drive 24 hours to Texas and back without any fear to not being able to leave my bedroom. So stop hating yourself if you're on medications. Don't judge yourself if you need to go on medications. Listen to your doctors, but find a good doctor. because a lot of doctors just throw whatever at you. Do your own research, of course. I did my own research. I didn't trust what the doctor said because they gave me 3 meds and they made me feel worse. So now I got to be comfortable with a med before I take it. So do your homework, do your research, because it's you that has to take it. Find a combination that works for you, and listen, see a therapist and do everything that you can do. But just know that there's hope. I've been in just recently, the past couple days are really bad for me because October's a bad month. I immediately start to get more depressed and detached, disassociated when the weather changes, and in combination of extreme stress because I became obsessed with my business again. And becoming obsessed with my business, ultimately took me away from doing some of the fundamental things, however small they are, that were really helping me. The meditation. So anyway, anyone want to chime in? I'd love to hear some feedback actually from some folks, because like one of the things I do is I get on my phone and I talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, and then when I exhaust that person, I call another person and talk for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And I've been doing that for a long time, and my doctors have all said that that's ADHD. Part of my ADHD is that my brain can't slow down. So I want to know, people that suffer with anxiety. I don't have panic, okay? I don't have panic. I'm saying like anxiety, like just feeling weird, attached, that kind of shit. Unfocused, unclear. You're also diagnosed with ADHD. How did the Adderall, how did the Vyvanse or whatever make you feel? A lot of people says it helps their anxiety and so forth. So yeah, chime in, let me know. God bless. Talk to you later. Bye.